For over 2 decades, Monkey D. Garp has been one of the most influential yet unpredictable figures in the One Piece world. The hero of the Marines has always walked the fine line between duty and personal conviction, and now, with the latest developments in the One Piece manga, his story seems to be heading towards an unforgettable conclusion. But the question on everyone's mind is, what's next for Garp? Will he fall into the same fate as countless other legends before him, or is there more of a journey than meets the eye?
ガープが大将の座を拒否し続ける理由の一つは天竜人の直属の部下になってしまうからだ。
Garp is a man whose actions have shaped the world. As the man who could have become the fleet admiral, Garp has turned down power and chose to instead live a life fighting for what he's believed was true justice. His bond with Luffy, his relationship with Ace, and his career in the Marines have defined him, but now it seems that things are changing. Recently, Garp's been on the front lines once again, but not as the unstoppable hero that we've seen him to be. During his mission to rescue Kobe, he was wounded by Shiryu and Kuzon and captured by Blackbeard. This marks a dramatic shift for the character, forcing us to ask, is this the end of Garp? The hero of the Marines might be at his most vulnerable right now, but is this really the end? Could this just be the beginning of a new chapter for him, one that challenges his very definition of justice? You see, Garp has always been a man of deep conviction. As a Marine, his sense of justice was clear. He stood for order, discipline, and the eradication of piracy. But as the story of One Piece has unfolded, we've seen Garp's idea of justice becoming just a little bit more complicated. The world government which Garp served under for most of his life claims to represent justice, but we've learned that their justice can often be twisted, hypocritical, and even cruel. Garp's own struggles reflect this moral confusion. For so long he stood by the world government, but as he sees more and more of the world's injustices unfold, particularly the suffering of innocent people, Garp begins to question whether the justice he's fought for is truly righteous. Does Garp's definition of justice remain intact, or has he become disillusioned with the very institution that he helped build? Is Garp's future going to be a search for a new kind of justice? One that doesn't protect the status quo, but also the people who have suffered at its hands? His future may hinge on how he defines justice in a world that is rapidly evolving beyond the rigid boundaries that he once upheld. There's a possibility that Garp's future might involve one last heroic sacrifice. He's already shown that he will risk everything to protect the future of the Marines and those that he cares about, especially Kobe, a young Marine with loads of potential. Could Garp's capture be setting the stage for the final battle, where he lays down his life to save the next generation of Marines, or even his own grandsons, Luffy? We've seen Garp as a father figure, a mentor, and a symbol of unwavering courage. But could the time finally come for him to make the ultimate sacrifice? Sacrificial moments like these are part of the heart and soul of One Piece, and if Garp were to fall in the name of justice, could that act be the catalyst for a new age of revolution? But Garp isn't just a straightforward hero. His loyalty to the world government has always been a point of contention.
親父に会ったそうじゃな。
あ、父ちゃん
Monkey D. Dragon!
Despite being a figure of justice, Garp has always shown a more nuanced view of what's right and what's wrong, especially when it comes to his relationship with Luffy and the Revolutionary Army. Is it possible that Garp's future lies not in battle, but in a final confrontation with the very system that he once served? The world government's policies have grown more oppressive, and Garp's growing disillusionment has been evident in the recent chapters. Could Garp take a stand, breaking his ties with the organization that once defined him? If Garp were to break with the world government, would it be out of a desire to protect his loved ones, or would it be driven by the guilt of having been complicit in their actions for all of these years? The possibility of his fall from grace would send shockwaves throughout the whole One Piece world. Another possibility is that Garp's end isn't marked by his death, but by him passing the torch to the next generation. Garp has spent so much time preparing Kobe to be a true leader of the Marines, and Kobe's future is still uncertain. Garp could play a key role in shaping that future. Now let's not forget about Luffy, because he too might have a part to play in Garp's future. Their bond is deep, and with the stakes rising, it's possible that Garp will leave behind a legacy, not in the form of a heroic death, but in the form of mentorship, passing on his beliefs to those who he thinks will carry them. The torch could pass on to Luffy instead of Kobe, the grandson who once defied his grandfather's authority, but now follows in his footsteps. Or, then again, it's probably going to be Kobe, you know, the young marine who could rise to be the next generation beacon of hope. But if Garp's legacy is to survive, it will take more than just strength. It will also take wisdom. You see, I think Garp's in a weird place. Does he know that everything that he kind of stands for is wrong? Is that the reason why he stayed as vice captain? Who knows? The stakes have never been higher. As we approach the end game of One Piece, it seems like Garp will face a final battle. One that may define the fate of the Marines, the pirates, and the very world itself. Whether that's a battle to protect his loved ones, redeem his past, or confront the forces of Blackbeard, there's no telling how it will end. But one thing I can say is that the fact that Monkey D. Garp is a D, and from the D family, he's truly going to have an important role in this final saga. One thing is for certain, Garp's legacy is far from over. Whatever happens next, it's sure to be nothing short of legendary. So what do you think? Will Garp's story end in sacrifice, redemption, or a heroic battle? Will he reconcile with the Marines, or leave the world with one final powerful message? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell notification for more One Piece discussions. Peace.